Welcome back to the Fandamentals podcast, where we talk all things sports from a fan's perspective. This is an opinion-based show. Opinion-based show. You ain't gotta, if you don't like our opinion, that's fine. You know, we would like for y'all to, jam out with us, chill out with us, and listen to our conversation and converse with us. Get in the comments, like, subscribe, all of that. But I appreciate the
Yes, sir.
people that do come and check it out regularly. This episode, I have like several things that we could talk about. I think the thing I want to talk about like the most right now is we saw what's the name, Franklin, the coach for Penn State,
Mm-hmm.
got fired, right? They still owe him like 48 million, something like that. 40 something,
It's
right?
a pretty penny.
Yeah, right. And he's fired. Here's I get it, it's like a contract, right? But when I look at these coaches getting fired and it's like, oh, well, they still owe him. It's not like a trade where they trade a player to another team and they still owe him money.
Mm-hmm.
I get those contracts are different, even if they like cut a player or whatever happens.
Right.
With players, it's different, right? But with coaches, I feel like if I sign you to a contract, right, and I say, we expect you to win these rivalry games. We expect you to get us at least, a conference championship and, this level of bowl game and to the college football playoffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, let's be clear. Is Penn State, did they become relevant again after hiring him as a coach? Yes, they did. But they just seem to not be able to beat top 10 teams. Like when it gets to them having to, they seem dominant all year, and then when things get like clutch, like playing a top 10 team, they can't get that hurdle. Like they can't beat the Ohio State, and they couldn't beat the Michigan, and
Mm-hmm.
last year they couldn't beat Oregon, right?
Right.
And this year, what, they lost like three in a row, and two of those games were just, they had no business losing, right? And
True.
I'm seeing an issue. To me, you're either losing the locker room or something's not working, right? And so I want to cut ties, right?
Right.
And I don't feel like I should. You've not lived up to your contract.
Right. Right. Right.
Like you did it for the other seasons, and then this year you're not living up to it. Like you've declined. So I no longer, this contract is up. You've not lived up to it. Why do I still have to pay you that much money?
Fortunately, it. I mean, that's the basis of a contract. You know what I'm saying? Like
I, I
these are
get it.
your incentives. Now, see, this is how I would go about it. Is I could understand like your point of view of why should I continue to pay you. But the way I guess the part that I look at it from the standpoint is if I fire you in the middle of a season, I should owe you for the rest of this year, at least. Because
Okay.
I actually cut ties with you instead of you playing out a whole year and seeing what the heck happened at the end. I mean, yeah, you lost 3 games or whatever, so we know you ain't hitting these metrics that we set out for you. But at the end of the year, I would see it be more of if at least you played out the rest of the year, then I fired you like in the off season or something.
Yeah.
That's a whole different story. It's like, okay, if I fired you in the off season, then I shouldn't be able to pay you because you're not going to be here next year type ordeal.
Right.
But you are able to at least play out to where, yes, I have to pay you for this part of your contract because you actually still played through the season. Now, if I cut your contract early, I technically, if I'm looking at it from the standpoint, if somebody cut my contract or something early, you should be liable to pay for me because I wasn't even, yes, in the beginning of the season, I'm not performing what you want, but you ain't gave me a chance to even play the rest of my stuff out to even look better if I need to look better or if I run up against a good team or whatever I can win. I might not be able to win the conference championship or anything, but heck, I might be the top 10, top 25 team somewhere down the road, or we might get
Yeah.
better, or whatever it is, we might get better as the season progresses. Because and it's hard with coaches because sometimes like I'm not saying that this is the case for them, but sometimes with coaches you always got a revolving door. NILs, you're bringing in new people, you got people leaving every single year. Then on top
Right.
of that, injuries play a big part in some of these programs. You got star key players injured, but
Yeah.
NIL has leveled the playing field. Like has done made it a little bit more harder to even playing against teams that you think this team should beat, and
Right.
then you don't beat them because they got just as good as talent as you do. So I feel like if you are firing them in the middle of the season, you should be liable for the rest of that person's contract. Now, if you fire them at the end of the season, in the off season, you go into a review and you're like, hey, look, you didn't meet these metrics that we set out for you. Now we're gonna have to letting you go. We're gonna terminate your contract. Then that's the proper way to do it. You see what I'm saying? That's how I feel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like if a coach quits in the middle of the season, you don't ever really see that. But let's just say hypothetically he quit. Then that way, I'll be like, yeah, you definitely shouldn't be liable to keep paying him because he actually broke the contract and quit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But contracts are seasonal based. You got this X amount of goals for your whole entire 4-year contract. You got to meet these metrics. We need you to hit these metrics during the season. If you don't complete something by the end of the year and we decide to let you go, all right, we part ways. That's voiding of your contract. So we're going to go
Right.
ahead and void it. But if I void your contract prematurely, then yeah, I should be liable for at least compensate you for the rest of the year because I terminated you earlier than what what I'm saying you should have been leaving.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes total sense, and that's a very very valid point. I didn't consider that. I just in my mind, I just was like, "Dang, you got fired for underperforming, and you still got to." Let me see. Let me check exactly how much he is owed. Let me see, because the thing is, man, when we look at like coaching, I understand the that it's not easy, right? It's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously, especially, it's probably a little bit harder in college football because you always have like revolving players.
Yeah,
Um, and with that, let me see inside.
and you
So
usually
with
don't even
that,
keep a core player no more than maybe 4 years if he stays that long.
if you're lucky, 4 years.
Yeah,
Now, if you're lucky, 4 years, and you're saying core player. So even with that, it's
yeah. Like in the NFL, you could build a whole. You know what I'm saying? I might have a player for 8, 9, 10 years, a bunch of core
yeah,
players for about 10 years or something like that. But in college, yeah, it's gonna always revolve. So it makes it harder in college to actually win consistently because of
right,
the fact that you are constantly changing every year. You at least bringing in 35 new players. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
Like
right,
25 to 35
exactly,
new players every year.
exactly,
And then you got to think about the players that ain't even got on the field yet, that, might got an attitude or whatever, ain't played yet. People that are red shirted. So you bringing in those people, even though they kind of acclimated to trying to get acclimated to being able to play, they still
right.
ain't been on the field to actually play, big amount of minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Minutes, yeah, yeah. Well, his contract, it was a 10-year contract,
Mm-hmm.
and his buyout is approximately 49.7 million. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that could be lower, I guess, based on this contract. Like he has to get like a new coaching job, right? Or something to that effect, right? Initial
Mm-hmm.
buyout. Penn State owes the initial amount of 49.7 million. Reports. Um, the contract contains language that allows Penn State to lower its payout if Franklin finds a new employment, such as a coaching or broadcasting job, according to Sports Illustrated. Um, so I guess
Oh, he
whatever.
might just wait just to get just before he get a new job.
Well, I guess what happens is that he has to try to get a new job, and I guess whatever that contract is, they'll pay the difference, right?
Bro,
So
that could be it.
I'd go coach high school football.
You know that for real. Like, just go and go to just go to high school for hey,
Go
they
coach
go
high school
because we
football.
gonna still get good pay because I know there's these. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I feel
Right.
like I feel like that's fair. You got it. Because you're when you're doing contracts, you're negotiating. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I'm negotiating and you're negotiating and I'm saying, okay, well, I'm going to agree to these terms if you agree to these terms. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Typically, that's how I think it goes. Yes, the school probably has more, you know what I'm saying, leverage in that sense. But, if you build a contract to where, hey, look, if you fire me before or whatever, you got to buy me out, then hey, they signed the contract just like you did. So
Yeah.
it's like the old school handshake, say,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
this is what we signed up for. So hey, if you didn't want this to happen, you could have said if you get fired for not meeting these goals, you're cut off for money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then it would have been like valid. But I think it's just there to protect coaches because, or anybody, players, if you're talking about whatever, NBA or NFL, professional level, it protects you on that same level because now you're looking at it from a standpoint, let's just say a school who did hire and they had the ability to just fire. If they fire, you don't have to pay. Oh, I don't like the way you coaching right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I do like this person over here. They might be available. I just got you for a moment. Let me just go ahead and fire you and pick him up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then it's
Yeah.
just like
No, you're right.
you ain't go. Oh nah, you ain't gonna do that. But I
Yeah,
feel like
you're
the
right.
proper way to do it, the proper way they should have did it was at least play out the year. At least give them the full year to play it out.
Let him finish it out.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because you never know. And then you got to think about players. Some players, they get attached to certain coaching
Yeah.
styles. So it's just like, hey, let him play it all the way out. See what he gets at the end of the year because you might end up changing your mind. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem with
Mhm.
firing coaches early in the year. You don't know what's going to happen in the rest.
Because I tell you what, because when I look at Clemson, Dabo Sweeney, Clemson
It
having a hard time firing him because
bad.
I think Dabo Sweeney done.
I mean, but
I
he's
think
been the best coach Clemson has had in ever.
that yeah,
So
that's
it's
true.
like, do I really want to? We seen what he could do when he got the talent. Clemson's just in a
Yeah,
rut right now. I feel like, but like we always said, this it goes back to NIL leveling that playing field. So
but also
yeah,
with that NIL, that everything is so sped up. Like there's no patience anymore, right? There's
yeah,
no like, and across the board on all levels of sports, like there's rarely any patience. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know if you know can like really remember like yeah, I mean I'm sure you can. Like you remember when Peyton came out, like it took a
hmm
couple years to make that team
yeah,
something, and
yeah.
Peyton wasn't the best quarterback for those 2 years.
Oh, when he first came out, you wasn't seeing Hall of
Yeah,
Fame
but
Peyton
but
Manning.
there was no get him out of there. There was let him grow,
Yeah,
right?
he's got to learn and grow.
Um,
Yeah,
let them learn and grow, right? Let the coaches develop them. Like it's it's overnight now. It's like hey, oh, he this year he was bad. Okay, look, it's few and far between where you have a rookie quarterback come in and the Jaden Daniels don't come along every
yeah,
day,
that's a
right?
fact.
It just you don't always get that. It's there's some players that just need the development. Cam Ward is a great example of that. I think when I watch Cam Ward, I think that he has the IQ to be very, very good. And
hmm
we're also talking about a team with no weapons. You
Yeah,
mentioned it.
yeah.
Even the recognizable names are not that caliber. They're
They're not.
just they're
They're really
you know
good players, but you don't know them to be. They're not ever been the top tier of the team. You know what I'm saying? They've been
right.
like a good, serviceable, solid player. That I would love to have them on my team because I know they're good. But at the same time, I'm not paying them the big bucks to do
Yeah.
anything. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I think on the Texans, like Calvin Ridley is about the most known name on that team.
Yeah.
And he's been
Yeah.
around the league for a while. Then you got, of
Yeah.
course, Tony Pollard, but he's only really got a name for himself being back up in Dallas for a while. Then he got a little start. And then it's really only been like the last 2-3 years you really know about Tony Pollard in that sense. But other than that,
Right.
they don't really. I don't really know many people on the Titans right now.
Yeah, and even firing their coach. It's like
Rabel,
he doesn't have a lot to work with,
nah,
right? Like
nah,
build the team, like
yeah,
let them play out the year. Give them. I'd say you let them. You got a rookie quarterback. If you're scouts, and that's the thing. I often wonder what the scouts and the owners and the management, GMs, and all that. I often wonder what the conversations are because scouts have a direct correlation with who they possibly may draft, right?
right.
And if I'm the scout, I don't know how often they talk to the GMs, but if I'm the scout, I say I believe Cam Ward's the guy. He has the IQ. He can do this, but he doesn't. You know, because you got to think about them first two games. He was throwing the good passes. They were
Mm-hmm.
dropping them.
Mm-hmm.
They were dropping the
Mm-hmm.
passes.
Yeah, you're right.
What's who is that on? Like you really can't blame the coach for that.
You can't blame
You
the
really can't
quarterback
blame
for it.
Cam Ward for that. And I think it's very plausible that Cam Ward is in a slump because he's like, dang, I was doing everything right early, and it just they were, because regardless, like
He'd be on to something there.
PR, they're coached to say certain things. If you don't think Cam Ward was frustrated after them two games,
Hmm.
like he can
Yeah.
say, I got to do better, but in his head, he's really thinking, if they caught the ball,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
You
sure
know
he
they
goes
saying
back and
that.
watches
You
film
know he
like,
said
yeah,
that.
that should have been a catch. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if
Right?
you would have caught the dang ball, we wouldn't be in this
Yeah,
position. But since you ain't wanna,
exactly.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know he cussing up for fussing up a storm, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So those things, like, it's deeper than that, but it's also a thing where you're trying to constantly make the fans happy. And
Yeah.
that's the one thing I will give Jerry Jones, right? He will stand on what he believes.
to his
And
to the boy, yeah.
yeah, he don't care what the fans talking about. It's about what I want, and that's the one. That's
Yeah.
what you can give
That's a
Jerry
fact.
Jones,
That is a fact.
right? So when we look at that, like teams don't, there's like no patience anymore, right? And so that can lead that's Cleveland's problem. I think a big problem with Cleveland is they're so impatient and so like irrational, and they're like, not not to sound messed up, but they're like an ADHD team, right? they just they, they're just all over the place, and
Yeah,
it
man.
just it's not organized, and it's, you know what I mean. It's
I,
just we
I
just
don't
kind
even
of wing
think
it.
Cleveland's problem even got anything to do with patience. They just ain't good. Like their front office and scouts and whatever they got,
Dysfunctional.
they cannot. They can make a solid defense.
They
Let's get that. They will
anchored by
make a
Miles
solid
Garrett.
defense. Yeah.
Yeah,
So they at least could do that. We know they
yeah,
know that whoever is scouting can do some defensive scouting.
yeah. They
But
they
that
do solid
offense,
defense.
boy, their offense be looking terrible, man.
Yeah,
Terrible. Like year after year. I think Deshaun Watson could have been something, but I think too much of the legal
all
stuff
the outside.
outside of noise and all that stuff. I think
Yeah,
that's really what has hurt him even more. People don't really realize how much that stuff can change a player's perspective, their want to, their drive. It messes with your game, you know.
yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, though, at the end of the day, yeah, sometimes you just gotta watch out what situations you might put yourself in. You know what I'm saying? Whether you did something or you didn't, you know.
You gotta,
You
yeah,
gotta always be aware of your surroundings, and you always gotta hold yourself accountable for whatever
accountable.
happens. So,
Yep.
but they just never really find anything good to make their offense go. You know, like
Yeah.
you could have had something. You got rid of Amari Cooper. I don't know. I'm not understanding why they did that. But
You know
yeah,
what?
I would have kept him still.
I
But
I totally don't. I'd be so confused because like even like you know
but they got Land. They
that,
got Jared Judy. He's pretty good. Ain't got
yeah,
nobody really throwing the ball.
yeah. I mean, and the thing is, you have Joe Flacco. I have no idea why you trade him to within the division. I just that was I was like, what do you why? Why do you trade him within the division?
He would have never seen the same division as me. He would have
Yeah,
been he would have been gone to the NFC or something like. You can't do
yeah.
that. because you know what he can actually do. You know what I'm saying? He's not
yeah,
a trash
exactly.
QB. He's pretty solid and serviceable, even at
Yeah,
his big age. But
yeah,
it's like you seen what he did for y'all last year.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I don't.
they don't have
Yeah.
good. They don't have good. Their front office is just bad. It's just like the
And,
Bears. Bears can't never really get a quarterback until Caleb Williams looks pretty decent this year. So he looks good.
he
He looks
does.
pretty decent. But
Yeah.
overall, the Bears can't get right when it comes to the quarterback. They never can.
Mm-mm.
You know, they don't know how to manage it.
Nope.
Carolina seemingly don't know how to manage their QBs, but they didn't had so much turnover in their front office for last few years. Ever since Cam
Years.
Newton left them, they've been kind of scrambling
Yep.
on an identity. Um,
Yep.
so yeah, yeah, but
It's
I do agree though that the patience. I mean, just you look at like Anthony Richardson. He had 1 year to where he got injured. The next year, then people still talking about mistakes he's making. Well, he didn't even have a full year to even really do anything.
yeah.
Then he comes in, he's getting injured or he's playing backup or something. Now it's his third season, and guess where he's at now? He's on the
Yep.
bench behind Daniel Jones, who ain't had
Yeah.
until this year. We ain't seen Daniel Jones but
We
one time that was actually worth the damn.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And
So
now he's arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now.
yeah. So,
Like
but also with that fact, it does show that helps that he is his running back. What's called Taylor
is
is healthy this year.
is
Yeah, he's
healthy
really healthy and producing.
and producing, and it helps when you have an organization that kind of believes in you.
Yeah, yeah,
You
most
know what I mean?
definitely.
Like that's a huge factor.
Yeah,
Like and you know what? Sometimes like I like Arizona, right? They're patient clearly because I'm not saying Kyler Murray is not good. I'm just saying at this point he's kind of a middle of the road, and the reason is because we only see it in spurts.
yeah,
Like
that's true.
we may see 5 or 6 games of good Kyler Murray, and then all of a sudden it's like, what happened to the team?
What happened to that boy?
Yeah, you know. And there's in this in the league in the NFL or in college as well. Quarterback has to be the most consistent position, and I would say it's more important to not turn the ball over versus
Oh
like
yeah.
I get it. You're gonna see the Brett Favre like
Mm-hmm.
that are gamblers. I'm gonna try to force it in
Them
there.
gunslingers.
Yeah, them gunslingers. You're
Mm-hmm.
gonna see those. I don't look. I'll take the game manager for the most part. You see
Yeah.
more game managers be successful in terms of and I when I say game manager, I'm not
They're doing
don't
everything. They do things to not put you in a position to where they're gonna
right
mess up. You know what I'm saying?
right
They're actually
and they understand the
yeah
strengths of the offense. Right,
yeah
that's a big part of it.
yeah.
Right, it's a huge part of it. I mean, like, you know when you go back and look at when Tampa won that Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
What's his face was there?
Tom Brady,
No. But
Trent
when they played
Dilfer,
Oakland, huh?
Trent Dilfer. Was it Trent
Trent
Dilfer?
Dilfer.
Yeah,
That's
Trent
yeah,
Dilfer.
brain fart. Trent Dilfer. Trent Dilfer didn't do nothing exciting that year.
Hmm.
He
No,
no,
he didn't. He's
he just played to the strengths of the team. Didn't there's no wow factor to him. He you could argue you could say he was probably the least most important part of the team realistically, but he just didn't do anything to hurt you. He didn't
yeah
shoot them in the foot,
yeah
right? And obviously from that time to now, the league is a little bit different. There's a lot more passing, things
yes
are different, but the same premise exists.
yeah
And and so there's a lot of variables to it, but if I'm an Arizona Cardinals team, right, and Kyler Murray's been my quarterback. Now, granted, there's been some injuries.
yeah
I get it. He's been out with injuries here and there. I think he's out this weekend with an injury, right? There's been
mm-hmm.
some injuries here and there, but overall, it's like sometimes you're like, well, how patient can I be? At least when we look at Dak, when he's in, he's a decent
yeah
regular season quarterback.
yeah. That's true.
You
That's
know what I
true.
mean?
He's a
when
thorn
when
in your
he's
butt.
healthy, he's a decent decent regular season quarterback. But if we get to we get to talking about the patience of teams and all of that, there's just so many layers to it, and some teams need to be more patient, and there's other teams that are too patient. You have to find that middle ground, I guess. It's like, not to this is not a I'm not like trashing the 49ers or anything, but when we talk about the 49ers, one of the things is, as an organization, regardless of, you could say that they haven't won a Super Bowl in all this time. That's true,
That's
but
true.
you know what? They've been a very consistent team over the years.
That's
Like,
true too.
they're not going to be a pushover. You ain't finna go in and whoop them you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know what I mean? They're gonna give you a fight, and that's a team you got marked on your schedule. Like, that's gonna be a tough one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And over the years, regardless of who they've had in, regardless of the injuries, they've battled. Now,
Yeah.
last year was I mean, that
I mean, even but if you
w-
even look at last year, it was one of those years where we was really banged up, but we were still in a lot of games. You know what I'm
yeah, oh
saying? We
yeah,
were
there
in
was
a
so
lot
many
in
games
almost
that
every game
came
that
down
we
to a
could have.
field goal.
Yeah, we literally could have been opposite of what our record was. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes,
literally. So
yeah, and
yeah,
that's those are the organizations that they kind of got it right, because even still, like, look at how the injuries they have now. I mean, that they
yeah,
very well could have won Sunday. Like,
yeah.
that wasn't a they could have, right. um
We could have won again. We could be easily undefeated because we lost to
yeah,
Jacksonville by a few
easy.
points. We could easily
Yeah,
be undefeated still.
yeah.
But yeah,
And so those are like the kind of organizations where it's like they understand how to figure it out, right? They
uh
understand the patients. They do a good job scouting.
huh,
They you want to talk about know how to build a defense. Just unfortunately, injuries, right?
yeah, yeah,
But they know how to spot wide receivers. They know how to spot linebackers. They understand that, right?
yeah.
And I would say overall, John Lynch has done a really good job.
He really has.
Yeah,
He's really
like,
has.
overall, John Lynch has done a really good job. Like,
Better than I
but
actually
then,
expected. I didn't expect him to come in and do that
right,
what he's did, but him and
but
Shanahan, they built a good group
the
out there.
right, but then you go look at let's look at New Orleans Saints, right?
Let's not.
Since Drew Brees, it's not you just it's decline. Even and the thing is, on paper, last year and the year before, great team on defense, like on paper,
Hmm.
right? But it didn't quite curl.
Yeah,
It didn't quite work out. And so, like, as fans, sometimes you just have to look at it and be like, okay, I'm gonna ride the wave, right?
right.
Like, and as fans, we're wrong too. Like, fans always think they're right, but as
Of
fans, we're
course.
wrong too. Like, when we drafted Jared Goff, I was like, why didn't we get Carson Wentz?
Yeah,
Why? You know what I mean?
I can
Like,
see. Yeah,
right? Why did we get Jared Goff? I didn't want Jared Goff, but then I became a fan. Now, I was happy when we got Todd Gurley.
yeah.
I was happy when we got him.
That was a good
Um,
pickup.
that turned out to be a great pickup. When I remember when we got Cooper Cup, I was like, "Who is that?" Like, who is Cooper Cup, right?
Yeah,
And one of the things that I've learned about McVay and Les Snead as a fan, I've learned, okay, they're gonna draft somebody I do not really know,
yeah.
right? I haven't really been able to watch, but you
It's gonna
know,
pan out.
um, but it's gonna pan out. They
Puka
clearly
Nakua
know
was one
what
of
they're
those
doing,
ones.
right? Yeah, but like, if somebody, you know, you're
You got your scouts. Y'all
nobody
scouts
was like
actually
Puka
work.
Nakua is gonna
Yeah,
be this good.
exactly. But that's kudos to the scouts out there. That's how you know your scouts is out there really putting in work.
Bingo,
It's like you
bingo.
get those people like you just yeah, yeah. That's credit to them
Yeah.
scouts. They really scouted these players, and it's just like, I mean, I don't keep going back with the 49ers, but you talking about the 49ers, you talking about Brock Purdy. Nobody was looking, like they say, mystery irrelevant, the last pick in the draft. And he
Yep.
comes up, even Tom Brady was another one. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? He gets a chance, and you see what his career ended up being. But wasn't nobody checking for Tom Brady. They weren't looking for him. He wasn't that. Nobody cared about him in Michigan. I mean, like,
Mm-mm.
it wasn't all that
But
good. You know?
but see, that's a testament to like work ethic because
That too.
like
That
look
too.
at Ryan Clark. He went
Yeah, undrafted.
undrafted,
Yeah.
undrafted. Like nobody thought he was good enough. Ryan Clark said, "I'm gonna lay it on the line.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm gonna lay it on the line. You're gonna remember
Because
me
your career is technically on the line when you
on
ain't.
the line."
If you're
Right.
not a high pick, then you kind of looking. They don't expect you to do anything. Like you
Yeah.
go undrafted, especially if you go undrafted, you kind of like whatever we can do,
Nobody's checking for
whatever we
you.
want to do with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody's checking for you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about that in terms of like the players that are willing to lay it out on the line, and then you think about the organizations that are willing to be patient,
Mm-hmm.
those historically have been the winning pedigree teams. Like look at Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
right? Pittsburgh's always been kind of one of them teams where it's kind of like
Yeah.
they'll get a player here and player there, but they're like super patient. Clearly, like look at their coaching history.
Yeah, they don't
Super
have a lot
patient.
of turnover in their coaching history. What they have like
Nope.
3 or 4 coaches,
Right.
but they
And
go
and
on to do like 20 to 30 years of coaching.
right. But like even like look at the quarterback thing. Up until after Big Ben, you didn't see a lot of I know you went
Yeah.
through your phase of with the Cordell Stewart and what's the name? Charlie Batch?
Yep.
That his name? Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you went through that phase, but you didn't see a lot of what I mean. Generally,
Hmm.
they kind of kept the,
Yeah.
the the same cores. And so like even and up till now, the same thing with like a Baltimore, and so you have some of them teams that are just willing to be patient, and it usually turns into like a winning pedigree over time. And I
Yeah.
know I know things are like changing stuff like that, but I don't know. In my opinion, as a fan, getting back to like Tennessee, I think Tennessee suffers from the impatience. Carolina suffers from the impatience, and Cleveland and New Orleans, they just that's I don't even know what to say about them. They just that's just bad. Like that's they're just
Yeah.
poorly. That's just I'm at a loss for words for them.
It's just bad management, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
straight up.
Yeah.
And there's teams like that, in the NBA. There's teams
Yeah.
like that in baseball. That
In
happens
every sport,
at every
every
level. Yeah,
level.
every sport, every level. You know what I mean? I know Gary's not here, but the
The
Colorado Rockies.
Rockies. I was about to say, yeah, with
Yes,
the Rockies.
that's
But
one of them teams. You know what I mean?
they must be patient.
There's a level of too patient, man. Yeah, there's a level of too patient. But yeah, man, I know we went off on a whole rant about patience and organizations and stuff. But no, man, getting back to Cam Ward, man, they're gonna have to really. It doesn't matter what coach you put in there if you're not willing to put some pieces around the kid, man.
Yeah,
Straight up, it
yeah.
just if you're not willing to put some pieces around them, they're not gonna be.
They ain't
You
gonna amount to nothing. They're gonna be in the
no,
same position that they always are. You gonna mess with their career, then they're gonna probably float around the NFL for a while until they
yep,
get another start somewhere else to where a
yep,
coach actually believes in them and they do Daniel Jones things, or they do like we thought what you call it, like Sam Donald had as a
yep,
resurrection of his career.
yep.
Geno Smith, we was hoping continued to have his resurrection. I don't know.
He
What
got the Raiders,
I don't
and
know what drug test what drug he got on, but
yeah,
golly, that's bad. They
it's
won.
it's
Didn't they win
crash.
Sunday? They won Sunday, but
They
they,
won. They won.
they were looking terrible. terrible
Yeah,
with
they
him.
were.
So
Yeah, they were.
yeah, boy, that's bad. That's
That
bad.
is bad.
But
Um,
yeah, sometimes just patience and confidence that you give a player. You
mm,
know, if you believe in them, they can turn out to be something.
let me ask you this, man. If I told you that the Colts, like right now, if we started the playoffs, they would be the number one seed for the AFC. If I told you that before the season started,
I had to see what kind of drug test you would have been on.
right?
What kind of
You know
drug
what
you
I'm
working
saying?
with, bro? Like you might need to get tested because nah, you wrong. I didn't even think Daniel Jones was gonna start for Indianapolis when he went to him.
Yeah, yeah. We thought. I was
I
like,
just thought he was
I
just
think
about to be
I
on the
even said
team.
he's a serviceable backup. I even
Yeah,
said that. I'm like, oh yeah, he's gonna be a serviceable backup. And look,
yeah, he's
put
shining. He's shining. He
yeah,
gotta get him his props.
yeah.
I hope
We,
it continues on.
me, yeah, I kind of hope so too,
You
man.
know.
I would like that.
I mean, I like to see players do good. I do like well, we know unless you on that one team that got a star on their head.
Yeah,
Um, I like to see players typically do good.
yeah, yeah. I don't
Now,
know if Dak Prescott went to another team. I still wouldn't want him to. I don't know.
he
I
probably is one of the ones where I just don't really care. It,
yeah,
it really don't matter what team he. I don't really care for him like that. Like, but I'm just saying, there's some players that are just like I just don't really got a vibe for them like that. Like
yeah,
if you went to another team, I still you still be kind of like to me. Yeah, you do good like Dak. I'm gonna give him his propers. Dak has always been a good regular season quarterback, and if he did go
yeah,
to another team and did well, hey, kudos to you. But at the same
yeah.
time, I'm like, you're always a cowboy to me. You've been there
That's
too
it.
long, so you're always going to be labeled as a cowboy, and I'm not going to follow you too much. I mean, there's
Yeah,
always been like every. I will say that almost every cowboy team has had somebody I actually was cool with. Like Michael Irvin, he's the only
Michael
one
Irvin,
back in the day that I actually liked. On the Cowboys, Michael Irvin is
Charles
a lot.
Haley.
Haley, yeah, yep,
Yeah,
yep. Ken Norton, of course,
he was.
Dion, but Dion, they only played spells there. But
Yeah,
then it goes a long gap that there's nobody there that I cared
yeah,
about. And then Des Bryant, I actually like Des Bryant. They
yeah.
did him dirty to
I
me.
gotta admit, I did too.
Yeah, they did him
Uh,
dirty to me. Des
I agree.
Bryant.
They did.
I like Des Bryant. And then
Yeah,
now, currently on the team, nobody.
nobody.
Now I gave Michael Parsons his props, and I kind of want to see him stick it to the Cowboys. That's the only reason why I
I
kind
do
of really
too.
want to move that way. It's like I want to see him stick it to the Cowboys at the end of the day. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
me too.
But he
Me
would
too.
probably be the only one I was like, yeah, he's pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? He's pretty
Yeah,
good. I'm cool with Michael Parsons. Well, even when he was on the Cowboys, I was cool because I actually think he was good. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
He
yeah,
was really that
yeah,
dude.
yeah,
But other than that, though, y'all don't get any more props from me.
yeah.
You
I
know,
feel you. I
y'all
feel
they
you.
everybody else is like Ezekiel Elliott with that little belly shirt, belly
Oh,
belly
yeah,
jersey. Y'all could just go get
yeah,
the hell on.
yeah,
He could get on with that junk, dog.
yeah.
But other than that, man, I like to have fun with the Cowboys, and there's some players that I actually were fans of when it comes to the Cowboys. But you
Yeah.
ain't never gonna see me root for the Cowboys ever. I don't care if Jerry Rice went to the Mugs. No. No, T.O., but T.O. was a
To
49er before he became a Cowboy. And I
Cowboy. That
don't
is very
ever
true.
look at T.O. as being a Cowboy. He's a 49er, or he's a 49er. Ain't no T.O. And I don't see him as any other jersey other than the 49ers jersey.
Well, I'll tell you what. One of the things that people forget about To is when he was in Philly, they
Oh,
were
he was a
very,
beast.
very close to winning that Super Bowl.
If he was healthy the whole time,
And if he were healthy that
hmm
whole time,
yeah.
and nobody, I like
And it's
that's
crazy.
an
He was a
argument.
beast in the Super Bowl, and he wasn't
Yes,
even
and he
healthy.
wasn't even healthy. And he wasn't even healthy. I think people totally forget about that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
what he went up. Let me see. Let me see what the stats was in that game. Let me yeah. I gotta look at it because okay, stats. What was his stats? He caught 9 passes for 122 yards.
Yeah,
Injured.
yeah. He was hurt.
injured. He was
That's the
hurt.
crazy part about it. He was
And they
hurt.
lost 24-21.
Yeah, of course. New England always wins by field goals.
Yeah.
Most of their Super Bowls, anyway.
Despite suffering a broken leg and torn ankle ligament 7 weeks earlier. Bro, 7 weeks earlier.
Oh yeah,
A
he shouldn't have
broken
been in that.
leg. We're talking about a broken leg.
He shouldn't have been in the Super Bowl.
He shouldn't have been even
He shouldn't have
playing.
been playing. No.
Yeah. We're talking about a broken leg. And he played in the game and caught 9 passes for 122 yards. Bro, you can try to demonize him all you want, say he was a locker room killer and all of that. What you ain't gonna tell me is he wasn't really good, and he didn't. He was very passionate about the game.
Yes, he
Very
was.
passionate about
Yes,
winning.
he was. Yes, he was.
So you say
You
what
can't.
you want,
If you
but
talking
you can't
about
take.
if you're talking about some of the best receivers ever in the game, he is not out of your conversation.
He's got to be in there.
If you have T.O. not in your conversations as one of the best receivers in NFL history, you worse than a casual fan.
Oh yeah.
You don't know football, bro.
You just don't know football. Yeah.
Terrell Owens was a beast. He was a beast. And that's not even just saying he was because he was a 49. No. Outside even that jersey, he was a beast everywhere he went. Maybe not in Cincinnati that much or Buffalo. But that was the tail end of his career. So we don't really look at those years like that, but he was a beast, man. He was a beast.
Hey, speaking of Buffalo, what has happened to them?
Any given Sunday.
Yeah. Also, let's just I'm going to sound like a hater, but Josh Allen, he's kind of going back to the old Josh Allen a little bit.
Turnover prone.
Yeah. Kind of.
It's a little regression right there. Yeah.
It's a little.
Yeah.
And now, what I'm gonna tell one thing I'm gonna tell people is if you don't think Lamar Jackson mattered,
yeah.
Just look at the offense.
They ain't got nothing going on offensively. Their defense is trash.
All the people that said that Baltimore's offense, it's only good because of all of those weapons. Well, all of them weapons been on the field since Lamar Jackson ain't been in, and all of them weapons ain't worked.
And they ain't scoring a point for nothing.
So
they ain't scoring nothing on the board. Like
nothing.
You go from 30 points a game dang near for the first few weeks of the season. You might have lost, but you still scoring points to you scored 3 on Sunday. 3 points. Granted, the Rams ain't a bad football team. They're not a bad defensive team. But you only scored 3 points. And then the week prior, they only scored what? What did they score the week prior to that? Like 6 or 7?
Yeah.
They offense it doesn't matter. It wasn't enough to win. It wasn't even enough to really even remember. So like I don't they look worse than the Steelers offense from last year.
Yeah.
Without Lamar Jackson. And you got Derrick Henry. You got a lot of weapons. You just don't have Lamar Jackson. Who's really an MVP?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
No shade to Josh Allen, because Josh Allen is a good quarterback. I'm not going to shade him at all.
Absolutely.
But it's just we're just seeing what it is. Like one person literally is and now I will say, just to give it a nice context, I don't think Buffalo does anything without Josh Allen either. But
that's true. Very true.
When I'm looking at it though, you can't say that Lamar Jackson is not the MVP, because when you got a team that has weapons, whether he's there or not, and y'all are looking this bad, you know who that boy is. You just know. The threat that he is on the field, just his presence alone is a threat.
Yeah.
Except for if he's on the sideline in street clothes. Apparently ain't a threat.
That's it, man. That's it. I think what's been really good about this season, even though we lost the close one to San Fran, and that was a really good game. That was a great game, and
true.
Both teams fought really hard.
But like we always do, it's always like that between San Fran and the Rams. I don't remember the last time either one of those games were blowouts.
Yeah.
Because if it starts looking like it is, it ends up being close.
Close either way. Yeah, it gets close. Well, but one of the things that I liked about this season is you mentioned any given Sunday. That's how this season has been.
Yeah, it really has.
It's been like even like picking like doing pickums and stuff. It's
It's
been
hard.
I don't know.
It's hard. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like unless it's against Tennessee or Carolina, which
You can't even say that because
I
Carolina's
you
what
can't say that
they're on a
because
two-game winning streak, ain't they?
yeah, and you know what's crazy is so I did somebody's pick 'em for them. They was like, "Can you
Mm-hmm.
pick my teams?" And I was like, "This year is kind of hard, but okay, you know." And I just knew Dallas was gonna beat Carolina.
A
Now,
lot of people
here,
did.
here's the thing. I'm glad they didn't. You know what I mean? But it's like, well, that caught me off guard. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
for real.
well, another one that kind of caught me off guard was the Giants.
Oh, stomping the Eagles.
Like, look, stomping them,
They stomped the
stomping them,
Eagles.
stomping them. Hey, Scatterboo.
I like that dude, man. Hey, I
I
like
like
Scatterboo, man.
Scatterboo. I don't care what you say. I like
That boy is
Scatterboo.
nice, man. That boy is nice.
Yeah,
He's the epitome of a person that just like he is not, bro. He out there having fun,
yeah,
but he plays hard. He
yeah. He
plays
does.
hard. I like that dude. He's pretty good. I
Yeah,
like Scatterboo.
yeah. I like Scatterboo too. And
And Dart's
look,
playing good ball.
Jackson Dart's playing good. He's playing really good. And you know what I mean? I think New York might have something. I don't want to, I just
I
think
want to
they
get ahead of
might,
myself or jinx it, but yeah,
yeah,
they
but
doing pretty
they
solid
have
right now.
something to build on. Because
hmm
imagine if they had Malik Neighbors, if Malik Neighbors was healthy,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know? So yeah, they for sure got something to build on. Their defense has gotten better. They look like a competent team this year.
yeah. I
Um,
agree.
did you happen to be able to watch any of that Cleveland game with Dylan Gabriel?
Cleveland had a game.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, like
Didn't
here's one of the things, man. Like regardless of what you think about Shadur Sanders, whatever. Look, if you don't like him, just fine. Just say I don't like him. Right.
right.
That's cool. What you're not gonna tell is what you're not gonna try to convince me of is that Dylan Gabriel was better than Shadur Sanders. And I'm going to explain to you why. As somebody that watched the Oregon Ducks and somebody that would watch Colorado, what do I know about the Oregon Ducks? Is they got a lot of players that get a lot of yak yards.
That's a fact.
Yak yards. For those that don't know what yak is, yards after catch. All you have to do is go back and watch maybe the last 5 games last year for Oregon and look at how many passes Dylan Gabriel threw under 20, 15, 10 yards that turned into big plays. A lot of
Yeah,
screens, a lot of bubble screens, a lot of short passes that turned into big things because, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
okay, they have that kind of receiving core. That's the kind of receiving core they've always kind of had, right?
yeah,
That's how Oregon has played, right? Um, yes, so that inflates Dylan Gabriel's numbers. Here's what teams know about Dylan Gabriel. He ain't super accurate after 20 yards. You know who is? Shadur
Shador.
Sanders,
Yeah,
right? And look, all it, all of this is, all of this is available on YouTube. You can go watch the games for yourself. I'm not making it up. Like you can go watch it. It's available for you. It's there for you to watch. You can go back and watch this, right?
it's fresh out the
Um,
wrapper. You get to it easy.
yeah, you know. And so when I watch some of these people and they're like, Dylan Gabriel's better. I'm like,
In
I
what
mean, if you
world
say
were
so,
you seeing
but
that? Yeah,
yeah, I see. I watched him throw a lot of medicine balls. I did. That's just straight up. I watched him throw a lot of medicine balls.
and here's the
Look,
other,
man.
but here's the other thing
Go.
along with that lines of there was a reason why a lot of people had Shador Sanders and Cam Ward 1 and 2 as far as quarterbacks coming out of the
Yeah,
draft this year. And most of them, there's a lot of people that had Shador number 1 as probably being the number 1 pick. And of course, we've seen there's a majority of them did have Cam Ward. Both of them are good quarterbacks. Ward just a little more athletic than Shador. So
yeah,
we know where the league is heading when it comes to quarterbacks. But Shador ain't no slouch as far as mobility is concerned, but he's not no
no,
Cam Ward. You know what I'm saying? But overall, if you look at all the quarterbacks, Shador was probably the best quarterback prospect in. And we're not talking about just us from watching the games, but you're talking about people
a
that's been
lot of the
scouting,
professional, yeah,
that's been
scouts.
like Mel Kifer. He was one of the big Shador people. He was shocked that he didn't even go. You know what I'm saying? They have scouted the games longer than I've probably been watching. You know what I'm saying? They've been doing this for
Oh yeah,
years. So it's
yeah.
just
Mel
like,
Kiper's been doing this since I was like born.
yeah. So it's like we're not just coming up with our just random opinion. This is something that, like you said, you can go back to the tapes and watch it. Now, if you don't like the player, just say that. You know, like you said, just
Just
say
say
you
that.
don't like him. If
Yeah,
you never
just say
seen him
that.
play, just say, "Oh, I ain't never seen Shador play, so I don't have
Yeah,
an opinion on how he plays. I think that
right,
Dylan Gabriel is better because this is what I seen, and I never really paid attention to this." You just say these things, but
right.
to sit there and go out there and say that he is just a better player, we don't know. Well, right now we don't know now, right? Because we ain't
Yeah,
seen Shador play in the NFL, so maybe. But in college, no, no,
no,
he
yeah,
wasn't a better player than Shador in college.
no, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. And the thing that's wild, man, is I'm not even sure why people hate Shadur. He's very humble. Say you could, you know, nobody can convince me that Rex Ryan came out and said what he said a couple weeks ago because it was a clickbait thing, man. And in my opinion, it was a clickbait thing. Rex Ryan didn't know what the hell he was talking about. He just made some shit up on the fly. Just said something. He was winging it, right? He was. He just whatever I could do to bash, right? Because here's the thing, Rex Ryan. Um, ain't, ain't nobody from Cleveland calling you personally and saying he doesn't sit in the front row.
Like
Because
really?
guess what? All the film shows that he does sit in the front row. Every time you've seen in the practices and in the meetings, I mean, it's on film. It's on
Yeah.
YouTube. Like again, this is all available
You
stuff for
go
people to
see.
watch. But instead, here's what happens: people need to be able to be right, and if somebody says what they believe, they're not going to do the research to figure out if it's true or not. It's like, well, it fits my narrative, right?
Hmm.
Um, that's why I
Yeah.
tell people you can go look at it. Like this is not stuff that I made up. This is stuff that I saw.
Yeah.
I saw it with my eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't I don't
I,
know what else.
well, it's. I don't think it's just a door. I think because people think he's kind of arrogant in some ways, just judging by some of the things that they perceived him to happen in college. You know what I'm saying? Flashiness, and then his dad. I think Dion rubs a lot of people the wrong way for whatever reason. I don't know why. He's humble too. Dion's not arrogant. I mean,
Very
well,
humble.
he's got they get a confidence about themselves. Yes. You know what I'm saying? There's a
Yeah,
difference
and
between
that's
the
there's a
confidence and the
difference,
arrogance. You know what I'm
right?
saying? So they got a confidence about themselves. But when you sit there and you watch them, watch how they talk, watch what they do, they never, you know what I'm saying? They ain't out there acting like knuckleheads. You know what I'm saying? They
Well,
enjoy themselves. And we can't
but
help.
it
Shador
doesn't.
can't help that. My dad was in the NFL. And he was one of the
Right,
greatest, and I have the proverbial silver spoon type ordeal. You know what
right.
I'm saying? I ain't have to do a lot to get to where I'm at. No, he put in the work. You know what I'm saying? He
But it
put
doesn't.
in.
It
So
doesn't fit the narrative. It doesn't fit the
exactly.
narrative of that. Doesn't fit the narrative of what society for a lot of people believe to be for
Yeah.
black fathers. Right.
Yeah.
Like just let's just call a spade a spade. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna go there with it. It just doesn't fit the narrative, right? For the father to be able to want to put his kids in that position,
Hmm.
to be able to build them, to be loving and be there, right? It just doesn't fit the narrative of what society in certain, me and you know that that's not the reality, that
Yeah.
black fathers don't do that. We know that that's not reality. But think about somebody from, there's people in little towns in, we'll say, Idaho, right? They've
Mm-hmm.
probably never, their only perception of, black fathers is what they've been told, or what,
Right. Right.
it's a certain narrative. So
Mm-hmm.
when they see it, there's like, oh,
That
they're
can't be
arrogant.
right.
They,
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever. And it sucks. And I don't want to make it necessarily a race thing, but the reality is it kind of is.
I mean, reality
It's
is what
just,
it is. You can't
yeah,
ignore
it
it,
is what
but
it is.
yeah. I mean, you
Yeah.
hitting it right on the head. I mean, there's a lot of people that come up with their own narratives based upon, unfortunately, the color of your skin or
Yeah. And it's
whatever. You know
unfortunate.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What or belief, whatever it is that they don't like, they're gonna find a way to not want to be on board with it. It's a different
Mm-hmm.
story because here's the thing. Like, there's also differences in like let's just say LeBron James and Bronny.
Okay.
You don't hear anybody actually hating on Bronny. You don't there's nobody that really says anything. That now they judge him by his game in the NBA. A lot of times
Yeah.
when he came into the league, people didn't think he was ready for the league, and he got
Yeah.
a different type of route and pass to get into the league. So
Yeah.
when you see people that talk about, like, or somebody like that's then had some criticism on it, like me or you, I don't care about the nepotism. Okay, yeah, you could say that is that you could say that is used, but it's been used for all
It's
races, all walks of
yeah.
life, and in the
It's
profession, even outside
and
profession
and
of
who
sports.
wouldn't? Who
Exactly.
wouldn't?
But when it wasn't, like, my argument for it was, I wish he would have just let him go through the process, to let him go through the process of being drafted. Then you can see
Yeah.
where his real value was at. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And then he can go through certain things. And I understand LeBron's way of, I want to play with my son, so cool, whatever.
Yeah.
But I never was hating on Bronny as far
No.
as calling him a bad character or whatever. I think
Mm-mm.
he's a good kid. You know what I'm saying?
Me
He's
too.
a young
Yeah.
adult. I ain't gonna call him
Him
a
and
kid.
Bryce.
No, he's a young man. So he's a good. He don't get in trouble. He's always been, presenting himself in a respectful, professional way.
Yeah.
He doesn't really get outside the box. And when it comes to LeBron, I don't never have a judgment on LeBron's character as a father outside. I don't like the man's
Bingo.
game and what he do on the basketball court. That's my problem. But as
Right.
far as a
But
man to
off the
man
court,
or whatever,
yeah.
props to you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I ain't got
Yeah.
nothing against you outside the court, but on the court, I just, some things I don't rock with, and this is why I'm not a fan of you like this, because you do some
Right.
things that are just
Right.
skeptical to me. But
Right.
but I would never go out of my way to bash him as a father. I don't bash it. I don't bash Bronny for his game and for his character. Now I could sit here and judge your game and be like, "Yeah, you're not ready." I'm rooting for you to do good. I would like to see
Good. Yeah.
Bronny
We
be
want it.
serviceable and do something in the NBA.
Exactly.
I don't want to see him fail.
Exactly.
So
No.
I'm wondering why people have that mindset when it comes to Shador. Like, y'all ready to throw this mug to a stake and fire, and
Yeah.
he ain't even got a
Yeah. For
chance to
real.
even do anything yet. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He just got drafted. For one,
Yeah.
he gets screwed in his draft, and people want to bring a narrative. Oh, he did, he didn't. Now he admit to certain things, like, I should have did certain things in his interviews or whatever, but that should have never kept him from slipping like he did. And now he ain't even
No.
getting fair
Absolutely not.
chances. To me, it
Right.
don't seem like he's even getting a fair chance to move up the ladder. Why was he on the third string, or he was back like the farthest string, third string, fourth string, whatever he was
Yeah.
at? Then he moved up the third string. Flacco gets benched, and he's still third string. Like, make it make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Make it make sense. So yeah, I don't understand why people just want to have a narrative and want to say that I think they just like to hate, because, like you said, you already come with a preconceived mindset. You're not willing
Mm-hmm.
to do the research or change your mind because of what somebody else has said, so that you run with it. And that's one thing I just hate about so many media platforms that be out there, that just catch one story, one scoop, or somebody says one blurb for, like you said, clickbaits, and
Yeah.
people run with that,
Run with it.
and
Yeah.
nobody is doing anything to research. Is this true? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Exactly.
Did he really not? And then when you got actual proof, you don't want to go to the proof. You just want to be like,
Yeah.
nah, this is what happened. But if there's proof out there for you to go look and research and see it, go
Why
research and
wouldn't
see
you?
it.
Right.
Know the truth. Don't keep running with a lie. It's just crazy.
It is. And the even the crazier part is it's like that that's the issue when you'll say he talks too much. Then if he doesn't talk, he's bad for not talking because
Yeah.
that's your job. You're supposed to talk to the media.
Mm-hmm.
If they interview you, you're supposed to. That you're acting like a clown. Well, you told me to not say anything. I was
He,
supposed to shut
he
up.
he's in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
Right.
So it don't matter what he does, it's not gonna be right. Somewhere, some way, it's not gonna be right.
Yeah.
I guess they
And
want him to be like Dak Prescott, give the politically correct answer every time.
every time. Yeah.
But what is it for him though? Because he can give you the politically correct answer, and y'all
and
still
then
gonna
you'll say
find
it's
ways.
fake.
You still gonna find a way to.
They're still gonna find a way to criticize him. And I think that's what I like about Dion because it he responds in such a humbling way where it's still like, boom, I got the receipts, I got the proof. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like he, and like Colorado, they beat Iowa State, right? They knocked
Mm-hmm.
off a ranked team, right? That was a upset win, and it was almost like people were like it's almost like people watched the interview to search for something to be mad at Dion about, right? And I don't know if you saw it when they were talking about the fans had rushed the field, and they
Mm-hmm.
said it's 50 grand, it's a 50 grand fine or whatever, and he didn't know. Like he was like, it's 50 grand for rushing the field, He said, well, it
Mm-hmm.
was 50,000 people there, everybody chip in, like joking.
Yeah.
And I saw some of the comments, and they're like, he knew they rush the field all the time. Da da da. Da. When was the last time Colorado rushed the field? Exactly, right? It's like like, why are you mad at him about that? Like, why are you mad because he said he didn't know? Like, you're just nitpicking.
Yeah,
Like
you finding things now. Come on,
yeah,
man,
you trying to like every little thing you can nitpick. If you don't like that man, just say you don't like him. You can leave in the comment, I don't like Dion.
and be
Okay,
done with it. Move on
and
about your
be done
life.
with it.
Go
But
ahead.
don't like, and it's so weird to me, right? Because I don't have no issue with Dylan Gabriel, right? I'm not gonna
Yeah.
nitpick anything he says. I'm not even gonna judge his character because I don't know his character. To me, he
Mm-hmm.
seems like a good guy. He seems like he's eager to want to be good. He's from what I can tell. So when I say the things that I say about Dylan Gabriel, it's just simply about his game and what I've watched.
Right.
It has nothing to do with his character. Right?
Exactly.
It's nothing to do with who he is. But when it's about Shadur, they're generally not talking about the game on the field. They're
Yeah.
talking about everything else,
It ain't got
right?
nothing to do with
And
the game.
how are people legitimately telling me he's just simply not good? You're in the comments on Facebook telling me he's just simply not good. How do you know?
He ain't even had a chance to
What
even play of a snap of the regular season. You don't know what he's
season?
gonna
Yeah,
be about.
you exactly. You don't. How do you know that? Were you just going based off
I
what?
think I think some people think that he's not starting.
Yeah, so he must
I
not
don't
be
think
good.
I don't think people really know the things about sport. Like it goes all the even back to like middle school days. Coaches have who they want in mind to play. And it doesn't matter how good or how bad that player is. If they want them to start, they're going to start. How many times have
Mm-hmm.
you seen a quarterback that gets played or somebody and you be like, man, this dude is trash. They should take him out. And they
Mm-hmm.
don't never take him out. And then the next week they back at it again. The next week they back at it again. Next week they back at it
Mm-hmm.
again. And it's just like, why are they playing this guy when he is trash? We're obviously
Yeah.
watching trash. And
Mm-hmm.
but when a sometimes I think some coaches just want to feel right, or the organization doesn't want to play the player. Who
Yeah.
knows what goes on about it in the behind the scenes. So you can't hear and say that he's trash. You don't know. He ain't even took a snap in the NFL to even showcase his skills yet. So all we
Right.
know is just he's a backup, like Trey
Yep.
Lance in San Francisco. He kept getting
Yep.
injured, but like He never had an opportunity. And when he did have like little opportunities, he wasn't there long enough to do anything. He gets
Yeah.
injured. So it's just like, okay, he's constantly injured. So that was his problem most of the
Problem.
time, is he's
Yeah.
constantly injured. So he never gets an opportunity because of
Right.
that. And then
Right.
once you start knowing and then we know how the league is. If you're showing that you are injury prone and you don't never really get back to whatever, or you're not showing any, I guess, progression, or you're not getting
Yeah.
chances, eventually you fade out of the league. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's how it.
Because that's just how the league goes, man. Like,
Yeah. I mean that
some people just don't get chances.
yeah.
Kurt Warner was bagging
And
groceries.
Kurt Warner was bagging groceries. That's absolutely correct. But then you when it comes to players getting opportunities and stuff, sometimes it just has to. Kurt Warner only ended up in because Trent Green got injured. Trent Green got injured. Kurt Warner took over. He had the opportunity to showcase his skills,
Yep.
right? Um,
Same thing with, guess who? Tom Brady.
Brock, yeah, Tom Brady. Drew Bledsoe got hurt.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Brock Purdy.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah. Garoppolo. Yeah.
you just do not like Garoppolo.
It's not that I don't like Garoppolo. It's just that he wasn't that he was serviceable for the time he played.
It's that first Super Bowl against Kansas City, ain't it?
And it's the picks
You
at
can
the
say
wrong time of the game that I knew that
you can say
if Garoppolo is going to throw one interception, I'm guarantee you he's leaving the game with at least 2 to 3.
yeah, like he.
If he was
So
going to be
the
bad,
problem with
he was going to
Garoppolo
be
is he throws
terrible.
interceptions in bulk. He throws
Yeah.
interceptions in bulk.
So it feels like if he was going to be bad, he was going to be terrible. If he was going to be good, he wasn't going to be great. He was just going to do enough to keep you in the game.
Yeah,
And it's not that I don't like Garoppolo, because I thought Jimmy G he was all right as far as what we had. He did what he needed to do. We won games with him on the roster.
yeah,
But after we
true.
won the whole entire playoff game with him throwing only like 9 passes the whole entire game, and we won handedly, I knew then it wasn't Jimmy G that
Yeah,
was winning games. Now there was sometimes he made some good plays. He made some good plays. I'm not going to sit here and say he had a winning record with this. He did.
yeah.
So
Well,
I'm not going to sit here and say that he was a horrible quarterback, because Jimmy G wasn't horrible. He just wasn't great either. He was a
yeah,
serviceable quarterback. But where
yeah.
is he at now since he left San Francisco?
With the Rams,
Oh, he is.
yeah, he's
Oh yeah, he was with the Rams last year.
second
He
string.
he ain't play
Yeah, he's
at
second
all.
string.
Yes.
Um,
But is he terrible? No, I'm not gonna sit there and say Jimmy G is
no,
terrible. He's not a terrible quarterback. He's a
no.
serviceable backup where he's supposed to be at.
And
Mm,
and
and that's
if
it.
they had beaten Kansas City, we're having a whole totally different discussion about Jimmy G.
I'm not.
Even though he wasn't he wouldn't have been directly responsible because there is that defense was pretty solid. But we're still having a different conversation.
I mean, we would call him a Super Bowl winner.
Yeah,
I say he won a Super Bowl. He helped us win a Super Bowl. Yeah, definitely. Would I still sit here and say that he was a good quarterback? I'd say he's a serviceable, probably a backup. We just had to, I'd rather
well, yeah,
like look at it, and now I'm like, I do rather like the fact that we got Purdy over him, because Purdy, although he irks the heck out of me with some of his throws, I see what he's trying to do. Jimmy G, for some reason, he just never could. He definitely a throw
well,
you in to out to be out the game.
yeah,
That's it. But I don't always full blame on Jimmy G, because there was just some dumb play calling by Kyle Shanahan.
yeah.
And in that
Well,
Super Bowl,
that's
that first Super Bowl, that was more on Kyle Shanahan bad play calling than it was
well,
Jimmy G's bad play. Because Jimmy
yeah.
G wasn't terrible in the Super Bowl. He wasn't terrible. He did what he's supposed to do. He just missed on one throw that could have won the game, technically.
Now,
But we should have been
now
running the football anyway. But, that's another story.
Now, you being a 49ers fan, I have to ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
With seeing how well Matt Jones did, because look, this past weekend, that first interception, totally not his fault. That receiver stopped.
Yeah, yeah.
That receiver stopped and was supposed to keep going. Totally not Matt Jones' fault. Matt Jones made the right throw. The receiver just didn't read correctly.
Right.
So, Matt Jones to me looks to be pretty good. Yeah. Where you at with that? What are your thoughts on that?
We paid the man, so we got to play the man right now.
So when the turf toe gets better,
I got to see what you do.
you got to put
I
him
gotta
in.
see what you. I gotta see what you do. You know, say it's great to have. Then if you terrible, guess what? You sit in the bench side. That's just how
Okay.
I'm at this moment in time. That's how I'm looking at it, because I still Mac Jones has been great. There's a lot of times we've seen backup quarterbacks step in and be great, but then don't always last through the whole entire season either. But we'll see. I mean, we'll
Yeah.
see, because I still think that Purdy's a solid quarterback. You know what I'm saying? I think he is. He just sometimes irks the hell out of me. Now, if you
Yeah.
ailing and you got all these injuries going on, and it might be, I would like to see how it looks. Now, Mac Jones looks great, especially with the backups that we have. He looks pretty good. He looks
Yeah.
really good out there. He looks comfortable. He looks really good out there. And that is a question that I thought to myself, but I think that what we would have to do, what I would do if I was the 49ers, let's just say Purdy was okay, healthy. Okay. I might give Mac Jones another week
Yeah.
just to make sure Purdy is 100%. I don't want to see him. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to put you out there just because the doctor said this week you healthy. I ain't gonna just throw you back out into the fire like that, because you could still be healthy enough to do some movement, but still kind of have a little bit of pain or something somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like you just got a little
Right.
nag, and it still could affect how you play. And I don't want to
Yeah.
risk you getting injured again dealing with that, especially if I paid
Yeah.
you. Now, this is the real problem I'm having is because we just paid the man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you pay the man, I'm going to play the man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Until you give me
Fair
a
enough.
reason to really sit you down, I'm gonna have to see how you do. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So that's what I would do right now. Because if I really look at it, we're 4-2. We really ain't had a great look at Purdy except for what, one game, 2 games,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. And didn't we win
Two.
those games, or did we lose one?
Two. Two.
Because I know we lost
Two.
to. We just lost, and then we
Yeah.
lost to
Tampa.
Jacksonville. We lost to
Yeah. Y'all
Jacksonville.
lost to Jacksonville.
Was Purdy playing that game against
That was
Jacksonville?
Let me see. Brian Purdy this season. Let's check. Let's see this year.
I mean, my team been so banged up, I don't even know who the heck been playing.
So yeah. So he played against Jacksonville and Seattle. Those are the two games he played this year.
Okay, so
And so against Jacksonville, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 309 yards, 79.8 passer rating.
in Seattle, he was 2
Against
touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 277 yards,
yeah,
92.2 rating.
yeah,
Outside of the interceptions being there, which I gotta really look to see, was it his interceptions that he was throwing, or did some receivers not catch the ball, which is something else we known to not do apparently.
right.
Um,
Very
if you're
true.
really looking at it, they're not bad stats. Throwing the heck out of it, he got 586 yards in 2 games.
Yeah,
4 picks, 4 touchdowns. I don't like them 4 picks, and we've been
yeah.
terrible in the red zone for the most part. But
But
and
yeah,
then
you have. And
eh,
but
not
the
too
thing
much,
is,
not too much.
Mac Jones has showed promise.
Oh yeah, he's definitely has. He definitely
He's
has.
showed, and he's gutsy, tough as
I
nails. I
like
like it.
that. I like that toughness. That toughness is yeah.
And he showed it against the Rams. That
And
dude
then
was
so
tough.
I'm looking at Mac Jones. He done played 4 games this year. First game 279, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks. Second game 284, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Then 342, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 347, 0 touchdowns, 2 picks. It's
One of
pretty
those
good.
picks wasn't his fault. The other pick was just him trying to make something happen.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I said. I got to go back and see Purdy's picks too, because I don't know.
Yeah,
Sometimes my receivers just look stupid out there sometimes. There it is. They can't catch. They don't run routes. So I gotta check the tapes. But either way it
yeah.
goes, I don't think we're losing out on quarterback play
No,
between
no,
either
no,
one of
no.
them right now. So
Well,
I would.
I'm impressed with how the receivers have stepped up.
Kenny
Even
Bourne,
with yeah,
my
which was
dog.
that yeah. That's that it's kind of clutch because nobody
Yeah.
was looking for him to have to do that, but he's stepped up in a major way.
I mean,
Like
nobody was looking for my whole entire team to be injured on the sideline either. But
that's true. That's true. That's
but you
true.
did
And
what you're
yeah,
supposed to do. Next man up.
yeah. and that's been the impressive thing about San Fran, you know.
Yeah. Now we're gonna have
And
to try to do that even more on defense because we ain't got Warner no more.
yeah,
That hurt,
that's a
bro.
big hit. That hurt bad.
That hurt. That
Yeah.
hurt.
When I saw that this weekend, I was like, "Ooh, yeah,
You probably was cheering though. I know you probably cheering, man.
no,
I ain't got to
no."
worry about him on
Look.
defense.
We don't gotta we don't gotta worry. But no, man. Because here's the thing, man. I want teams to be healthy at the end of the year. One thing I
Yeah,
don't
man, for
want
real. Like,
is a
yeah,
team to suffer from catastrophic injuries. That's something I definitely don't want. Like it's a part of the game.
yeah.
It's they're gonna happen. It seems like for San Francisco, they just happen to the most key players.
Every week too.
You know what I
Every
mean?
week
Like
there's somebody
it's the
else.
most key players.
Mm-hmm.
It and
I tell
it's
you
just
what.
super unfortunate.
If I was on San Francisco's
Training
if I
staff.
was on their training team, dog, I'm importing water.
Yeah.
We ain't getting no
Not
water from
only
wherever
importing
y'all
water,
getting water
but
from. We importing
wherever
every
y'all
single
getting y'all
case.
food from, y'all might just want to try Meals on Wheels.
You know what I'm saying? For real. Like, y'all don't get in
Cause
this ice tub at all, bro. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what kind of ice you got going on in this tub.
yeah, something ain't working.
That's
Something
crazy.
ain't
It's
working. Yeah,
crazy.
it is. It is. It's wild.
And
And
string of bad luck like that to a team is crazy, bro. Like,
this is the second year in a row.
yeah,
This happened all last season,
yeah.
and it's happening again. I could see and ride
I'm
up
almost
sideways.
willing to say it's even going back even further than that. Heck, one year we done lost all of our quarterbacks in the damn in the playoffs. It's
Yeah,
like no
yeah,
matter where
yeah.
we are at,
You
we're
can go back
losing.
to that. Yeah,
Yeah, we're losing everything. Like, golly,
yeah,
something's always key that we're gonna lose. It doesn't matter.
yeah,
It
yeah,
doesn't matter. I ain't seen Ayuk yet.
yeah. Brandon Ayuk.
Like he
Yeah,
played one, what is it, two games last year, two maybe three, and that was it. And I ain't seen him.
yeah.
He got a
Richard
contract and
Pearsall's been hurt.
disappeared literally. Yeah,
Oh
and
yeah,
Parasol, that was a trip.
that hurt.
I didn't even know he
Yeah,
was gone until I was so well. There it is. He's injured. Kittle
yeah,
injured on the third drive or something like that. He's gone. He's supposed to be
yeah,
coming back. So,
yeah,
San Francisco's got some of the biggest what ifs right now.
yeah. They do.
I feel
Yeah,
like
they do.
I feel like we like how my Bulls are. What if Derrick Rose stayed healthy?
Healthy. Yeah. Think about it. Think about it. For real. For real.
Oh boy.
Um. Anything you got before we get up out of here?
I had a y'all must have forgot I wanna jump out. We ain't did one in a while.
Okay.
But I'm gonna throw out one. I
Okay.
want people to go out and check out Ron Harper. Ron Harper. A
Yeah.
lot of people only know him for the Bulls championships and
Yeah.
his little
Nah.
7 points a game. Ron Harper.
Yeah.
I just happened to just go around and I was looking at some highlights on YouTube about him today. I think people really need to go back and check out Ron Harper and see how much of a monster he was in the game. So I
Yeah.
want people to go out and check out Ron Harper, get acclimated to actually how good he was
Right.
before he got his little knee injury when he was with the Clippers. I think
Yeah.
he was a heck of a player. So I want
Yeah.
people to go out and check out Ron Harper. Y'all must have forgot. Um,
Yeah.
he was he was a beast in Cleveland. He was really good in the Clippers uniform for some years.
Yeah. Good call. I like that one. I like that one a lot. I was a fan of Ron Harper. I like that one.
Yeah.
Great one. As always, we appreciate y'all. Thanks for joining us. And we may or may not, I go on call this
Okay.
next week. So, but I will keep you updated, Adrian. I'll keep Gary updated, on it. And we may or may not have a next episode. It might be a couple weeks for our next episode. But either
All
way,
right.
thank y'all. Also, I guess I put that on TikTok. But thank you to everybody that watches us on YouTube. We do have Fandamentals TikTok, the Fandamentals TikTok page. On there, we just got to 200 followers. We're trying to get to 1,000. So if you've watched this all the way through and you have a TikTok, go watch our TikTok page too. Also, go check out our Facebook page. Um, coming up real soon. Like when I say real soon, I mean like at the top of the year, we're gonna do. I want us to do some more live things. We're gonna try to do some live things on Facebook. Try to do some live things on YouTube. I want us to try to do some more live segments where me and you are on here and we're watching a particular game. Um,
All right,
so
that'll work.
I want to try to do more of that. But that's something that we're gonna do at the top of the year because it's kind of something that I'm thinking about we could do during the NBA season. Um,
Yeah, that'd be good.
so yeah, so yeah. Uh, thanks, appreciate you, Adrian, man.
Yes,
You have a good
sir.
one. To the
Already.
fans, peace.
Peace.